When I was younger, I used to watch the YouTuber Sips a lot, and one of the games he played a ton of was Don't Starve. Like many other games that caught my eye when I was younger, I told myself that I would eventually get around to playing those games, which did happen, only almost 10 years later, and it wasn't Don't Starve, it was this game. Just like my experience with A Robot Named Fight, I first played this game when I first bought it, back in 2016. Surprisingly on the same day as my birthday. A cute little detail, but the feelings I felt towards this game weren't as cute. I played through the first whole section of the game, and for the same reasons that I will soon mention, I decided to stop. The game was released only a couple of weeks before I bought it, by the funny developers named Butterscotch Shenanigans. They've released multiple games, aside from Crashlands, all of which seem to take place in the same universe, and most of which are mobile games. I'm immediately thrown into the game, and just like in 2016, I'm greeted with that stupid purple head blowing up the ship I'm in, causing me to crash into the savannah of Africa. Wait, no, what planet is this? The first zone I explored was a vast and barren savannah, filled with unique monsters who look like they jumped straight out of a kid's drawing, and NPCs that resemble Baphomet? The gameplay was simple. I did monotonous quests and gathered supplies for my little home, also I could continue doing the main quest. Immediately I noticed multiple issues though, and comparable to the PTSD of watching your friends die in cold blood, I remembered why I stopped playing in 2016. The quests had no depth, the rewards were never impactful, the world was barren, the writing boring, and the customization, both for the character and your base, was bland. The game has all of these systems in place, but none of them go anywhere interesting. I wanted to dive deep into a game with depth, but I ended up in a parking lot puddle. Although I maybe didn't fully appreciate the systems of the game, I wanted to see it to the end. And that's when it hit me, the true rot of this game. I completed the savannah and I got transported to a chewing gum. There wasn't anything necessarily wrong with the aesthetics. Again, it simply looked like a child designed it. But what really bothered me was how the gameplay switched, or rather, didn't. You see, none of the things you did in the first area mattered anymore. The game sort of reset itself, and now you're doing the exact same things, but with a new coat of paint. Aside from the quote-unquote story, which consists of mediocre sitcom interactions. But aside from that, the game could have just started right here, in the chewing gum world. There is almost nothing to make the progress you made in the last zone feel satisfying or like it mattered. A great example is how literally all of the materials and equipment from the earlier zones become irrelevant. So there's not any incentive to grind anything because you don't need to. It's just a hamster wheel. Again, some might argue that most games are just hamster wheels, but not like this one. This is a hamster wheel on fire, filled with disease and death. But if I was a furry, I would be a hamster, because I saw this shit through to the end. The third and last zone is just Antarctica with penguins. Again, it's the same gameplay loop, but the main story of enacting revenge has almost come to its conclusion. Most quests and dialogues in this game are irrelevant and hold almost no importance at all. It's a game of cat and mouse, but everything ends up simply being random events and nothing makes sense. And then you finally climb that tower and confront the big bad guy. The music sort of makes it maybe sort of feel epic, but since the build-up was so lackluster, it still held no weight at all. It felt more satisfying seeing the credits than the actual ending of the game. I'm most likely being too hard on this game, it's a game and it's not bad, well, most of it is, but most of all it's just mediocre. Resetting your progress 3 times only to shove a poop story in your face isn't super fun, and I don't think I got enough dopamine in my brain for this game to be worth it. If you haven't played Don't Starve, play that instead. And if you have played Don't Starve, play that instead, again. Because Crashlands is just a poor man's Don't Starve. Only metaphorically though, because Don't Starve is actually cheaper.